Hey, what's up you guys? It's Zach with PCBros coming in with another budget gaming PC build. Today I'm going to be breaking down all these specs and breaking down this easy to replicate gaming PC. Even in 2025, you can find pretty much all these parts on Amazon, and I'll have the links down below too, and some benchmarks at the end, so stay tuned and let's get right into it. So if you're in the market for a gaming PC and not too sure where to start and not too really interested in building it yourself, check out PCBros.tech, where we offer a wide range of PCs for pretty much every single budget out there. You can get a gaming PC for around $400 to get you into the entry-level gaming, or you can go anywhere from a custom gaming PC that can run anything you want. PCBros.tech offers many services too, and each of our PCs comes with Windows tested, installed, and activated, and drivers installed, so when the PC gets to your door, you can just plug it in and start playing your favorite games. Check out PCBros.tech today for our latest deals. Now let's get into the specs. For the CPU, we got the Ryzen 7 5800 XT with 8 cores and 16 threads. This CPU is a super powerful option, and if you look on places like Newegg, this CPU is usually bundled with other things, so we actually ended up getting this CPU and RAM combo for about 150 bucks, making this a great budget option and a great addition to this build. And of course, the star of the show here is the RX 7600. This is one of those GPUs that you can still get easily on Amazon and is right now about 270 bucks, and it has 8 gigs of GDDR6 VRAM, which should be enough to play any AAA game on decent settings and pairs nicely with our CPU. For the motherboard, we went with the ASRock B550M Pro 4. You can go a little bit more budget on the motherboard if you want for this build, save a little bit of money, but we chose this motherboard because not only does it look good, it also gets everything we need with a good amount of upgrade path in the future too, and easy to upgrade storage, RAM, and stuff like that. And it's about 110 bucks, which is not bad. And for the storage, we went with a terabyte. Storage is so cheap now, and depending on your needs, you can go as many terabytes as you can afford and still be in a pretty budget range on PCs just because of how affordable it is. I would shop around for 2 terabytes, but 1 is usually good enough to start on PC builds like this. Nowadays, I wouldn't really go any less than a terabyte, so keep that in mind when shopping for parts. Storage is cheap and easy to upgrade. The similar idea goes with RAM as well. We have 16 gigs here of 3200 megahertz DDR5 Corsair Vengeance RAM, and this was what we got paired with the CPU on Newegg, which I believe is the only part we actually got on Newegg. So look around for motherboard RAM deals or CPU RAM bundles and stuff like that, because you can usually get RAM for free and will save you a little bit of money there, and is also not too expensive to upgrade to 32, especially for DDR4. So depending on what games you want to play, these are little options that you can tweak to make your PC better. And for the power supply, we went with the Segotep GN 650 watt 80 plus gold. We use these power supplies quite a bit. They are not modular, so there is a lot of cables to deal with for building, but other than that, this is a pretty reliable power supply and really affordable for about 50 bucks. And for the cooler, we chose one that we go with a lot, the ID Cooling SE 214 XT. This is the all black, no RGB, and you can get these for about 16 bucks, and they are really easy to install for first time PC builders, and they work great. Wouldn't recommend anything else really. And for the case, we went with my new favorite, the Okinos Aqua 3. With that sleek modern design, this case not only looks great, but has everything you need for pretty much all the budget builds that you would do in this price range, and comes in about 60 bucks. So it's hard to beat that price as well. So it has the looks, has the price, and the functionality. The Okinos Aqua 3 is usually always a good choice. All right, now that we went over all the specs, let's get to building this PC so we can get to the fun part, the benchmarks. We are now on the benchmark section. We are starting off with Marvel Rivals, a surprisingly demanding game. This is my first time running this game's benchmark tool. So here are the results for this PC. On medium settings, with some light ray tracing that is auto added, we're getting about 70 FPS pretty consistently. I mean, this game usually has a lot going on, so it's not too surprising here on medium settings. So I wouldn't really recommend going to higher settings on a PC like this, especially for this being a more competitive game. You want as much FPS as you can, especially if you want to run a high refresh rate monitor, which we'll talk about in a second. But on medium settings, you can expect pretty good performance. It was pretty consistent and smooth at 70 FPS, but if we turn it down to low settings here, we're going to turn the FSR to performance and get rid of some of that ray tracing, and we can get way better performance here, getting about 120 FPS. So now we're looking at more of a high refresh rate experience and really a more enjoyable experience for a more competitive game like this. So somewhere between medium and low settings is great for this game on this PC, and I would tweak the settings a little bit more like I did with the low settings, because I'm pretty sure if you did medium settings and FSR to performance and then turn off that ray tracing, you get closer to that 80 to 100 FPS mark. So far so good. Now moving on to Cyberpunk 2077 with no ray tracing, medium settings, we're getting 100 FPS on average, just a little bit below that, and it's pretty smooth. You'll see some pretty high spikes in the FPS when we leave for that little alleyway scene where there's not much going on. Now if we go to lower settings, we're going to be pretty much getting the same FPS. So with this game and more single player graphically demanding games, we can go to high settings and still have an enjoyable experience. Same goes with Black Myth Wukong. On medium settings, we're getting about 120 FPS, which is really smooth and consistent. Now it only gets better when we switch it to low settings, which gives us that high refresh rate capability. If that's something you're into, is high refresh rate 1080p gaming, it is possible in some circumstances, especially with the right games. You can definitely play games like Black Myth Wukong on low settings, tweak the settings a little bit, and get that high refresh rate enjoyable experience. I would say this PC was a pretty big success, as it is easy to build, easy to get the parts now, and can pretty much play anything you want with a little bit of tweaking settings. For around 800 bucks, this PC is pretty hard to beat, especially because the RX 7600 is just so good in that budget range, and pairing it with something like the Ryzen 7 5800 XT, you can't really go wrong. This is a great combo with a decent upgrade path in the future. So let me know in the comments down below, would you rock a PC like this? Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.